Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is a man who spent his Valentine's Day shooting webs and breaking hearts, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I shot something, but it wasn't webs.
It all comes out the same way, man. We're all good. Good to see you, sir. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day, you know? We obviously were at the movies, I would assume. Did you go Wednesday, or did you have a different day? You didn't go opening night or whatever?
I did not go opening night. Nope. Could not make it, but I did venture in there to see it. And yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about Madam Web. That seems to be the only thing people have been talking about over the weekend, unless you're like a uber film nerd like me, where like the BAFTAs happened and some other things that as we build towards Oscar season. But this is not an Oscar level episode. We are going to cover basically the remainder of the Dumpuary calendar, it seems like, or it's becoming more obvious that it's Dumpuary still, at least. And then we'll wrap up talking about True Detective Night Country that wrapped up last night, Sunday night. We're recording on Monday. And yeah, obviously, if you've been following along, we've been kind of speaking pretty well, at least in the beginning, and then it's kind of been going along. So we'll talk about how that all wrapped up and see if they ever got sunshine. I hope for the best for them, you know, because otherwise I'd be a drunk mess if I had to live in darkness forever. I don't know if I'd leave my house. It's a rough patch there in Alaska. Shout out to the people of Ennis. But up top, let's do it, Shane. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. We are going to talk about Madam Web, the latest Marvel film for Sony Pictures. And this one, you know, we kind of all saw this coming, right? It's a Valentine's Day release. We're in Dumpuary, but when you see Valentine's, you know, it's like, all right, well, maybe it's got a little more juice, a little more meat, because they put it in a sort of prime spot right before we get into March, where you get some serious ones. We're going to cover Dune upcoming. There's some other really good movies that I'm looking forward to in March, but this is clearly smack dab in what some people have coined the Morbius zone, or the, you know, just I'm actually reaching for, like, is Sony good at comic book movies? Because it's tough, because you are looking at 4 basically just offshoots. They get a lot of credit for the Spider-Man ones, but essentially Marvel has been helping in production or doing the production on those, so it's more in the Feige area than other things. What do you think? Like, is Sony, like, when you were coming in this, did you have no shot at liking this because it was already in the Sony zone, or how does that work for you?
I thought, pertaining to, let's go talk about the Sony zone for a second. To me, it's all meh at best. You know what I mean? I don't think it's as bad. Their lows are low, right? And they really haven't hit a high, because like you, they're the Spider-Man universe that they do, the animated movies. Yeah, it has a Sony banner, but how much do they, like you said? So like I kind of like I kind of put them in the middle of Sony and Marvel, like they're just straddling both lines. So the
animated, I feel, is like, that's Lord and Miller. That's a whole separate thing that's animated. It's over here. But like the Tom Holland thing is like a co-pro, but in the last few, especially, it's been more Marvel than Sony, it feels like.
Yeah, so I don't count those two. So let's just talk about the Venom. Well, this is mentioned Venom, Morbius, and I guess this would be, right?
Sure.
I enjoyed the Venom movies. They're not great, but because of Michelle Williams and Tom Hardy, I think they're watchable and they're entertaining. They're like 90s throwback superhero movies, you know, popcorny, kind of fun. Morbius is a low note. And this one, we'll talk about it, but it kind of falls in the Morbius zone, as you said.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even say they're batting 500 at this point. They need to raise their game. I'm kind of hoping, because we're getting another Sony one this year, in Kraven the Hunter.
Yep.
And I'm hoping Aaron Taylor, was it Johnson, right?
Yep.
That's my boy. I hope he at least makes that a passable Sony movie. So we'll see. They're struggling, man. They're just struggling because they don't have Spider-Man to connect everything to. And it's kind of like they're dancing around the subject. They danced around it in Madam Web. I don't know. Like, I really don't care about these movies anymore. So I don't know why. But I did have a little hope for this one. I thought at least before I saw my Rotten Tomato score on it, because I don't like to read the reviews to like send me jaded into the theater.
Same. Yeah.
I thought on some levels it would be at least entertaining. I'm like, they don't know. 16%, it's probably not that low, right? It'll be entertaining, quick paced, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, let's open it up from there, I guess. I don't know. You want me to go, or you want to go? Go ahead.
Well, I'll just set the stage here, right?
Yeah,
well,
okay,
first and foremost, just to address what you were saying, if you're the people who made Kraven the Hunter, you got to be pissed. Like, you had the spot before Madam Web, and it got pushed back. And now you're going to get pushed back where people are just like, does Sony know what the hell they're doing? And so now they're going to have to try to really dig out of a deep hole if they want to do it. The other thing, and obviously that'll lead into what we're talking about today with Madam Web. Madam Web has nothing to do with the Sinister Six, right? At least like you could be like, all right, Kraven the Hunter, Venom, something's like we can all kind of just pile these in together at some point. Madam Web, especially because this is a 90s set prequel that we're literally, not to spoil anything right up top, we're probably going to spoil the crap out of this. So if you're listening right now, bail. Go see it, wait to see it come back, whatever you got to do, live your life. But this one, with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 13, you can imagine it's not going to go well here. So this one, because it's set early, the end of this movie is disturbingly stupid. I mean, the whole movie is stupid, but like her outfit, her Professor X-ism of sorts and everything else that leads into something else. And you don't really have a specific tie-in to another movie, that this is sort of standalone. This was the dumbest idea from the get. And I'll paint the picture of what we were all walking into. This is, of course, the latest Sony Marvel movie, as I said, starring Dakota Johnson as the title character, Madam Web, aka Cassie Webb. Also starring Sydney Sweeney as Julia, Isabella Merced as Anya, Celeste O'Connor as Maddie. These are the three girls that you often see as Spider Women to come, but we all didn't know that they were really going to be basically just bait and nonsense the whole movie, or at least I didn't. Tahar Rahim as Ezekiel Sims, who's the big bad in here, which, man, I want to talk about him the most, probably, about all this stuff. Adam Scott as Ben Parker. Yes, that Ben Parker. He's the uncle of Peter Parker, who gets born in this movie. By his mom, Emma Roberts, who apparently people are like, dude, you had one job and you hired a person who looks nothing like the canonical mother of Peter Parker. So good job. We also have Mike Epps, Zaziah Mamet in here, as well as probably the worst position maybe in the whole movie, as just a woman in the computer who's strapped there. I don't know if she's Kath or not, where she has to just 24-hour surveillance, like person of interest, just sit around waiting for something to pop so this villain can do his work. Seems pretty terrible as a job. I don't care what she's getting paid. Is she like chained to the desk? This is a terrible situation. I work from home and I feel bad for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad. This is co-written and directed by S.J. Clarkson, who's basically been a TV director to this point. She did do comic booky stuff before. She worked on Jessica Jones and later into The Defenders. So she's not completely without doing comic book storytelling. One of the biggest shocks that I saw after, why is this also co-written by the people who did Morbius after Morbius was terrible? This also leads into, does Sony know what they're doing? You saw this? Did you know this? Like,
I did.
Why is Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless on this movie? And now, again, this movie had many rewrites. There's like 5 different credited writers. It's a shit show, obviously. But when I saw that that's part of it, I was like, get the fuck out of here. What are we doing? Yeah. The interesting part is that, did you see, I haven't seen it confirmed outside of like IMDb, trivia section, but that this movie, the original script was more like a Terminator feeling, where like the villain was coming to kill future Peter Parker.
Oh, like, okay.
Like that it was like, he's going to be born, let's snuff this out. And that Madam Web has to protect young Peter Parker.
That would have been better.
Probably. It's
Maybe.
at least
Yeah.
straightforward. It's not,
Yeah.
let's keep flashing back to spider people in the Amazon.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. And just to kind of give a synopsis here, plus the scores, the plot of this movie, what they call as a switch from the typical genre. Madam Web tells a standalone origin story of one of Marvel Publishing's most enigmatic heroines. Sure. The suspense-driven thriller stars Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, a paramedic in Manhattan who develops the power to see the future and realizes she can use that insight to change it. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she forges a relationship with 3 young women bound for powerful destinies if they can all survive a deadly present. This scores on this terrible. 13 Rotten Tomato with weirdly a 55% Rotten Tomato audience score. Are they on drugs? Is that like boosting somewhere? I don't know what's going on there. 27 Metascore, putrid, and 3.8 IMDb. That's shocking. That's real bad. That's real bad. With also a 1.6 letterbox, which is shockingly bad. So I don't know where you want to start first. And obviously you, as someone who's watched a few more of these Sony ones than I have, I don't know if you want to rank, if you want to go into how you felt, any of those things. You have the floor, sir. You can kick us off.
Okay. Well, quickly, one of my coworkers like, "Did you see Madam Web?" I said, "Of course." He's like, "What? How is it?" I said, "Well, let's put it this way. It made Thor 2 look like The Godfather."
Yeah.
Is what I said. Now, as far as Sony movies, this one's a little above Morbius, slightly. Yeah, slightly. Because Lisa on this one, I hate to say, sounds sexist, but you had Sydney Sweeney, you had Dora the Explorer, you had a cute cast, right?
Sure.
Even though they try to ugly Sydney Sweeney up a little bit, but come on, man.
A lot of bare midriff for us, just to throw us a bone.
it's close, but this movie, and I didn't want to hate this movie. I hate movies, but good Lord, the writing was all over the place. You can tell it was chopped and rewritten. The dialogue is hokey and laughable. Like the part where the girls are like, "What's, what?" And basically she goes, "I can see the future." Just like blurts it out, right?
Yeah,
they're all like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh God, come on." The spider people, the opening scene, right? It's like, how did they get her to New York again? Did they who delivered her? Did they put her in a UPS package? Like, how did they get her from like the rainforest
who's the
to New
family
York?
left over? Yeah.
Right,
Good
right.
point. Yeah.
How'd they get the pictures of her mom and Ezekiel and like the villain?
Well, it was foster system. Yeah. So
right.
Who's doing the paperwork here?
That's what I'm saying, right? It's terrible. And it's like the villain here is possibly the worst villain ever in a comic book movie. Like, seriously. Like,
and I feel bad for Tahar Rahim, not to cut you off, but basically the whole thing was ADR, which you could tell that they basically just rewrote all of his dialogue and he just did it all later because they just moved him around, cut away, far away. Everything was ADR. I felt terrible for him.
Yeah. And I don't blame the cast because it's like one of those things where like you have a capable and pretty decent cast. It's like they were given literal shit to work with in this movie. And I feel like they did the best they possibly could in what they had.
Yeah.
So you get the main villain whose basic premise is he was poor, right? I guess that's why he did everything, because he grew up rough is what the picture I got from this, right? Yeah. I learned that spiders live 30 years in a glass case. I didn't know they had that kind of longevity.
Or more. Yeah, it seems pretty spry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This movie's just all over the place. The action wasn't great. I did know that the girls wouldn't get their powers in this movie, though. So I did know that going in because this was her origin story. So what I read afterward is the producer really thinks there's going to be a sequel and the 3 girls are going to be the featurette in the next one going forward, kind of how like they at the end of the movie they kind of like in her Professor X vision, kind of saw them doing their own thing.
Yeah,
and the Adam Scott, right? Like, did you need a paycheck this bad? Like, come on, man! Like, you're not getting the Parks and Rec kickbacks. I mean, are they drying up?
Yeah.
Like Peter Parker thing was laughable with Emma Roberts. It's like that whole responsibility line. I'm like, did you really just throw that in there?
Yeah, that was terrible. And to remix it too, instead of doing it like dead on, they just happened to just slightly tweak it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just it just was terrible all over the place, man. And I don't know, even I can't even get coherent thoughts because it was just so bad. It was like the worst version of a 90s superhero movie you can get. This is a
Yeah.
throwback to the 90s, but in the worst way. It's like, okay, you got your shot of the driving by the
I
Blockbuster video.
I will apologize. I
Boom.
did say 90s. It was it's supposed to be 2003.
Three,
Hence
right?
the Beyonce thing. That's my
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like to me, this was like a movie that should have been that we would have saw in the 90s, like the
Yeah.
quality of the superhero films. Like, oh, we got your obligatory shot of the Blockbuster and your Britney Spears songs and whatever else you wanted to pop in
Right.
there. Like
Yeah.
the soundtrack was probably better than the movie, to be honest with you.
Though the toxic thing drove me
Yeah, too
crazy.
much.
That
It was
it's
too
like,
much.
okay, so these girls seem like they walked forever to get to that
Yeah.
diner, but she's gonna drive in less than a Britney Spears song while also being in traffic and sync it up to what was happening in her premonition to. It's so dumb. I was just
Yeah.
like rolling my eyes
It,
how dumb that was. There's a million things to do, but that really struck with me.
yeah, it just was everything in this movie just reeked, man. It just in the end, like you saw when they showed her in the wheelchair with those sunglasses, I just wanted to laugh out loud. I'm like, are we freaking going here? Like, is this happening? Okay, let's go.
It might
It's-
be the worst costuming I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, and it's like you said, like and we talked about it a little bit before. It's like, okay, you have a Spider-Man problem. You can't link these to Spider-Man, right? Like you said, like it's an origin story. But can you at least get Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in here to link it? Like we don't have to have Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man. We could go with another Spider-Man. Like I don't think people would fucking care
Yeah.
if it was Tobey Maguire or Andrew. If get a Spider-Man in here to tie this together, people, is all I'm saying. Because like you said, she's not part of the Sinister Six. I don't know much about her in her comic books. I never read that. It's far beyond me. But it's the worst. Yeah, right there with Morbius. I mean, it's neck and neck. At least, yeah, I don't know. Morbius seemed to have a shorter runtime. I don't know. Go ahead, Andrew, because I'm out of words for this. I'm just out of words
I don't
for
blame
this
you, man.
mess of a movie.
Maybe we'll get one of the 4 women in here to do CPR on you, man. We'll resuscitate this.
Oh yeah, we had that great
you.
pillow, the great foreshadowing, right? This movie also did a great job foreshadowing what was to come in this fucking movie.
Absolutely. Just to piggyback on your thing, because it is a prequel, isn't it weird that we have a spider person that made the television police, all this other stuff 20 years before, 18 years before Peter Parker becomes a super, call it 15 just to be kind. Nobody fucking put that together. Nobody's like, wait a minute. And where is Madam Web 15 years from now? Because we've seen all the origin story Spider-Man movies and we're in New York. So what happened?
She's in Queens, for God's sake.
She go back to Amazon? The Amazon? What's going on here? We'll never know because like you said, this movie is not getting a sequel. Though interesting thing, even with I thought more people were going to go to hate watch this. It made 51 million, which I don't know if to them, I mean, it's low. It's low for a comic book movie, at least, and we kind of keep hearing that a lot lately, right? Like it's probably at least domestically close to like Flash, but like I think it's even less, far less than that. So this is like getting embarrassing low. It's an $80 million, 75, 80 million, somewhere around there in terms of the budget. So I don't know. It's probably going to end up being quite the bomb. But yeah, man, I mean, for anybody who goes to see it, especially seeing the trailer and stuff, like maybe we look into these things a bit more, but I can imagine the feeling of these people to be like, okay, this is a superhero movie where they tease 4 superheroes and only get 1. You have one of the worst villains of all time who has all ADR dialogue. You never really get a sense of who he is or what he's all about, except he is quite possibly the best date you can ever have. Or like he takes a woman back to his apartment, which is dimly lit with a giant spider enclosure in the middle. She's impressed by that, or at least impressed with the views from his apartment because he's so rich. Not entirely sure why or how. And then beds her, has a premonition, scary nightmare thing that he has recurring while she's still there, wakes up from it screaming and panting. She's awake, tells her the whole thing, like almost like he's pissed off at her. You know, you tell a one-night stand that you're gonna kill 3 teenage girls that you keep seeing in your dreams. This guy's the best. This guy, he's amazing. I love that so much. I was like, this guy, he's amazing. No, my other one of my other favorite things, Dakota Johnson. I feel bad for her because I've seen her in enough like indie stuff where I was like, I love her, and she's, you know, she's got pedigree. You know, her mom's Melanie Griffith, father Don Johnson. You know, a lot of talent in her family. I like her in a lot of things. Lost Daughter, Cha Cha Real Smooth, et cetera, et cetera. She felt like she was on heroin most of this movie, like just slowing down the pace, not reacting well. I mean, it's a tough role, granted, because she had never done green screen, blue screen, whatever stuff before where she's reacting to explosions, whatever. She's also doing it multiple times in multiple different ways because it's premonition plus present. So that's going to be terrible, especially when you're doing it with the worst dialogue and worst setups ever. One of my favorite things. I'm going to keep doing drips and drabs, and you can feel free to throw in your own. But Jesus Christ, when Mike Epps dies. So apparently that street where the dump truck T-bones the ambulance is a dead-end street.
Oh, my God.
Like, so the dump truck could only go 50 more feet to the river that's right there.
Right.
And yet it's going down that way for no goddamn reason. It's hilarious. There's so many things with this thing. It's just absolutely amazing. She has her mom's diary. Also don't know how that kept with her the whole time if we're doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, all the pictures, all the stuff. She goes, spider people. When she reads her mom's journal, I fucking laugh so hard. The dialogue is just terrible. This whole movie. And again, it's a laughable. Oh, completely. Where I got tired from just writing down shitty stuff in this movie where I just kind of checked out. So maybe this might be all like early on, but case in point, like the diner scene that seems to be like it was all over the trailer, and we were just talking about with the Britney Spears Toxic. How does that trucker have a newspaper with the abducted girls on it in less than a day? Like, they haven't been gone that long, but he has a front page story of thing that's unsolved, and that the spider guy's not the headline. I don't know if that fully came through. What came through the CB? Why is Dakota Johnson? I don't think she's on the cover with them. I think it's just the girls. Yeah, it's terrible. But part of the stuff that really bothers me is that this movie was just mostly actionless. It's basically
it's not fun. It's not fun.
It's just running. It's adventures in babysitting. Mm-hmm. You know, just not funny or not intentionally funny. Yeah, it does things to where they try to kind of wink with it a little bit, and I think it fails mostly. Like even the end credits, right, playing Cranberries' Dreams. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I know it kind of fits the timeline or whatever, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, and then her leaving the country in the middle of all this to go back to the Amazon to talk to the spider people or try to find the spider people so that way she can fix the situation. She couldn't leave the abducted kids for what? 3 hours?
Yeah.
No, remember when she leaves to just go back to her apartment to read the book again or whatever. The kids end up at the diner and end up almost killed, you know, if she didn't get back in time. So, but she's like, yeah, it's fine. And all I kept thinking was, so pretty sure that they said they know, like, or had her description with the abducted girls and all this stuff. How's she leaving the country?
Yeah.
Is she in an airport? What year? I know this is 2003. It's post 9/11 though, homie. That shit, she is not leaving the country. I don't know.
No,
there's a million things with the travel that you're just like, this is the dumbest shit ever.
I was surprised she was able to find the exact spot her mom was doing the research by lining up the little picture she had because the tree was exactly like the tree. Like,
yeah, she
didn't. I had to laugh. I'm like, she was like, oh, that matches up. She must have been over here somewhere.
Yeah, Tree River. Yeah. That's all you had to go on, and you went to the fucking Amazon and you found it. Yeah. I didn't see no coordinates, homie. Nope. What the hell is happening?
No.
Yeah. Also, shout out to I believe it was Isabella Merced, aka Dora the Explorer's T-shirt that said "I eat math for breakfast."
Yep.
Is that what that said?
Yeah.
I read that right?
Yep.
Good God. I need that shirt. I think I'm going to remake that shirt and just wear that all the time. That seems like the right thing to do with all this. Don't you think?
Yes.
Should we make a recent activities store and we'll just sell the one "I eat math for breakfast" T-shirt? That, and this is a serious though. I may need to talk to you this one after because I have a kind of serious one. T-shirt idea of furious, just the words in Poor Things font that just says "furious jumping."
Furious jumping.
Yeah, because that's what she calls sex. So I was like, that's a cool, like, inside, like, winky film person T-shirt, isn't it?
It is.
I think it'll work. All right, we'll talk about that. We'll get that together. But yeah, man, this movie was terrible, and it was one of those, I feel bad for people who are actually on dates and not me sitting alone like a loser, sitting there. That I was like, I tried to make the time. I had to really rush. I even told you, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can squeeze this in. And I watched this shit at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was like 9:20. I got your thing. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go see it. And I'm like, dude, 9:20. Good for you, buddy. Like, yeah. God bless you, man.
Yeah. So good God, terrible idea. But yeah, man, it's not good. And I don't know where they go from here because this, as they said standalone now in here, even though, like you said, the producers had thoughts of future stuff. You don't get to see these three girls do anything. And I don't think they're going to tie into anything with Kraven the Hunter, nor I would think they would have the nerve to put this into a Spider-Man movie that is working so well for them.
They would not.
And with already like Tom Holland going, shrug, I don't know when I'm going to do this again or whatever. Right. So yikes. If I'm Sony, just bail. I don't know if they're going to do, unless Kraven the Hunter is actually sort of good. I wonder if they're just going to be like, yeah, HBO, how are you doing those tax write-offs over there? What's that Batgirl code that I can use to get this before tax season's over? How can we do this?
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, I'm not going to go deep into the woods on this, but they've teased us for so long, tying this into the Spider-Man universe, and they did it the best, and they pulled the rug under for me. I think it was Venom 2. I think it was the end of Venom 2.
Right.
Where Tom Holland was at the bar and he got blipped. I mean, he saw, he got blipped into Peter Parker's universe, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, we're finally going to get it. And then I forgot what fucking shitty Marvel movie came out. They like explained it away. He got blipped back to his own universe. I'm like, gosh, damn it. Like, that was your chance right there.
Yeah.
Tom Holland and Tom Hardy, you had your chance right there.
Yeah. No, it sucks. I don't get it. Was that the one? Which one has the Hawaiian bar, tiki bar?
That was
ending?
it.
Is that
I want to say that was the end of the second one.
Okay.
Let there be carnage. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Venom 3 this year too, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, actually we do. Yeah, we have 2 more Sony movies.
Yeah, I forgot about Venom 3. So, I think a lot of people did. God, man. I don't know. And I don't feel bad for it because it kind of, this all just speaks to, kind of the crumble of the comic book stuff, and they're a casualty of it too. But I don't know. Like, for everybody who's like, anything of the MCU is like, oh man, well, diminishing returns. We're all done here. We're going to do Deadpool and Wolverine and try to reset. This has nowhere to go.
Or here's my thought. I just had this for Sony. Instead of pulling Andrew Garfield back, use Venom and his anti-hero-ness as like the main plug for all these movies. He could be he could be your Spider-Man. He could fight the Sinister Six if he's the anti-hero Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a star in Tom Hardy. Fucking use him.
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right.
I don't know.
You gonna slap a rating on this thing?
Oh God, I hadn't even thought. I mean, is this? It can't be any better than 1.5. I think the Letterboxd rating is pretty much right on. Like, I think what I say, a 1.6.
Yeah.
I could not in any universe give this a 2. It made me shocking. Like, I was like shocked at the badness from the jump. So how can I give anything above a 1.5?
I'm going to go on a new system of scoring for myself because I would normally compare this. I'm like, well, I gave Morbius a 2. I got to give this a 2. No, I'm done with that. I'm going by my initial gut. What the hell did I think walking out of the theater?
Yeah.
This is a 1.
Yeah.
Like this is a 1.
Yeah. I can't. That's the thing is I saw people giving it a 1 in spots, and I can't blame them. So on a different day, if I'm being less generous, like I said, at most it's a 1.5.
Right.
So again, hand your cheat code if I want to split the difference, but like, it's not any better. If we're splitting hairs that low, like who gives a fuck? Nobody's gonna hold our feet to the fire. I haven't seen Morbius to do contrast and compare, but yeah, I would say it's one of those like, would I watch this? You mentioned Thor: Dark World, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's the would I watch this again before I watched, say, like you said, Thor: Dark World? Would I watch? God,
Eternals.
Eternals, again, to your point, a Morbius or whatever, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't, the only factor is that you said there is attractive women on screen to distract me from how bad, like, the ending is so dumb.
Yep.
And I think the thing that does it is it's the future thing. I can't see a full movie like that because it takes away everything. It takes away every action. You have to show what's going to happen and then react to what's going to happen next again.
Yep.
All the time. So it's actually terrible storytelling, or it's at least not good entertainment wise for the viewer. So I don't think I can ever watch this again outside of like, a clip here and there to be like, oh, right, that happened.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, bud.
So I think this has got to be the worst one in a long time. And again, as a person who didn't see Morbius or the second Venom. So I have no, like the Sony stuff, I'm only halfway there or whatever.
Ugh, don't bother.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So how are we supposed to do this going forward? Is Sinister Six going to happen? Was all this like,
Just keep punching yourself in the dick, roll over and go to bed.
I told you. Yeah. I that was my story to you when we were off mic. It was like, I was like, should I watch Morbius over the weekend to be like, is this worse? And I was like, what am I doing? Like, how am I living my life that I'm contrasting and comparing the potential of like a 1.5 at best 2-star movie that I know is bad. Everyone's weighed in. It's bad. And like this one's so bad that I don't think they can even do the Morbius thing where they re-released it in theaters like a month after it left or whatever to try to get more money after it got memeable. Like, no, nobody's going to see this unless they literally have like they're so in on the joke that they somehow go and put it back in theaters and then have some kind of like stuff like The Room where there's literally like like audience participation of like you see the glasses and like they pass out the dumb glasses to the people in the audience. They do like there's got to be like some interactive thing.
The only way I'd ever see this again is if they like set this like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going with it, where the fans have some reactive stuff.
Riff tracks over this thing. That's it.
But I don't think they could do it this quick. It's going to have to be some cult classic-y dumb thing. And I say that term very loosely. Yeah, so that's no good. Here's the thing, though, Shane. This movie, I kind of like, everybody tipped off that it was kind of bad. The Dakota Johnson press tour kind of told us that this movie was going to be bad. And now, here's the thing. The movie that actually gave me an existential crisis a little bit, and I almost walked out, was the next movie we're going to talk about, which is Lisa Frankenstein. So here's the thing. I'm gonna let you start because when I saw it, I don't know if you have the messages that I sent you or whether that's what you're looking up. I literally said I almost walked out maybe somewhere in the first half. And somebody else in my theater did walk out, by the way. And I think that person was in there trying to watch it for free. Like they just theater jumped and they still left. Okay. So I'm not the only person who did not enjoy this movie. However, when I read that it has like a 6.6 on IMDb and I think a very passable Letterboxd score, I was like, what is happening? Yeah. I wanted to lose my mind. And I kind of leaned over to you and was kind of like, we might have the new bottoms. Like it's early, but we might have the new bottoms because this movie was, It's more subtle in its terribleness than Bottoms because Bottoms is really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just as dumb, if not dumber. And what annoys me, and I'll let you lead in. I'll lead into this one. I'll give you a leading question scenario. I hate movies that also are aping another movie I like while also being very bad. And this movie really wanted to be like a blend of like Heathers or early Tim Burton. And I was
Yep.
like, you suck at this. And you have no direction. There's no point in this story. I don't know what to do with it. Do you want me to at least like read the synopsis before you
Yeah,
get
go
into it
ahead.
or
Yeah,
something?
go ahead. Yeah, read this. Set the people up.
So this is a movie that is written by Diablo Cody, a person who I've had up and down with. Positives, Juno hasn't aged well, but I still enjoyed it when it came out.
Yeah.
I was in. I believe she's also Jennifer's Body, which I also enjoy. But she's had a lot of misses as well. And Lisa Frankenstein is, as they call, a coming of rage love story about a teenager and her crush who happens to be a corpse. By the way, first line already there in the synopsis is wrong
Yep.
because the corpse is not the love interest for
Nope.
most of, if not all, the movie. After a set of horrific circumstances brings him back to life, no, not
Nope.
really. It's like thunder or a lightning,
Yeah.
a lightning bolt, maybe
Yep.
at best.
Yep.
We don't even see it. The two embark on a journey to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts. Don't know what that means because this movie has no story. It's kind of just this weird girl trying to find herself, and she does it through changing her personality and murdering people with a corpse who's fine with it, sort of. So, all right, that's enough from me. You get in there. Tell me either I'm way off base in being so mad or that I should at least maybe calm the fuck down.
I can't tell you to calm down, right? Because this movie was offensively bad.
Yes.
But I think I told you it wasn't walk out of the theater bad. Like Bottoms, I wanted to leave. Like I just wanted to go.
Right.
And I was getting viscerally angry at Bottoms, like you were with this movie. This movie didn't send me on that visceral trail of like I'm seething with just hatred. This movie was just fucking dumb. It was dumb, right? It wasn't a love story. It did try to blend Tim Burton with Heathers and just failed. Their humor wasn't there. They tried that Heather, like I love my dead gay son, kind of humor where that line hit. And like they kept trying to use that with like the way her mother died in this movie. I'm like, it's not funny. Like the delivery.
And that's your girl, dude. I thought you would be more mad because they really made her a shitty. Like really bad. And for some reason, she looked worse than I've ever seen her in any movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just a bad idea.
Yeah, Carla Guglielmo couldn't even save this movie. And
I know.
I love Catherine Newton from Friday with Vince Vaughn. I like her on screen. I think she's fine. She wasn't the problem with this movie. Like you said, it misled you. It wasn't a love story. This guy...
I'm not giving her a pass, but okay.
Oh, she was terribly acted in this movie. She did a terrible job. I said I like her generally, but not... She did a horrible job.
Right.
Her over delivery, not just everything was off with her in this movie. It just seemed like everyone was off in this movie. And it's like you said, like it wasn't a love story. You get this strange occurrence that happens during a party where she gets drunk from like 2 sips of whatever she's drinking in that cup. And
PCP right up front.
Yeah, PCP, right? And it was like an occurrence you see in those body switching movies, you know what I mean? Like lightning strikes and all of a sudden this guy wakes up. And again, it wasn't a love story, right? It was not. She was trying to pine over this head of the newspaper editing club or whatever the fuck he was in, right? And again, she started killing people. I understand why she killed her stepmom, right? She had it coming, kind of. But then he was just killing people just for the body parts. And all of a sudden, like, suntan booth can like arrange these parts to you properly. Really? Okay. Like he just
because it shorts out.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
It just started lopping parts off to fix himself, not to like he was basically her best friend in this movie, right? It wasn't even like a love interest to the very end. and her whole storyline just didn't make sense. It wasn't a coming of age story. Like, she was still awkward and just weird, and she just got more mean, I guess. She killed that guy for touching her, putting her hand on his crotch, and she ends up killing. Like, it just, this movie was lifeless, joyless, humorless.
Yeah.
Every other
And
adjective you
lazy.
want, and lazy. And like you said, I'm hit or miss with Diablo Cody. I like Jennifer's Body. I like Juno. And I read a review after saying this is like such Diablo writing, so fresh and poignant. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching?
No.
This was her worst outing ever. This movie won't even get cult status. It's that bad. Just bad acting, bad writing.
This is where I worry, Shane. I disagree because people were laughing in the theater when I was there, and it had the Bottoms effect again. And these scores, while not as high as what Bottoms got on certain apps or whatever, is enough for me to go, people aren't just dismissing this, and someone's going to try to make this their Heathers or whatever later.
And it's not, though. It's not. I think people were laughing in the theater, and again, I was looking at them, and the scene that got the most laughs is when he lopped off the penis and she was like bent down sewing that penis onto him.
I will absolutely give them a pass for that one bit.
Yeah. Other than
Otherwise,
that, like,
nothing makes sense.
And I can't. You know who I felt bad for? Because I thought like her character would get exposed, and she wasn't really nice, but she was mean. The Taffy. I thought Taffy. I felt bad because she was actually a genuinely nice person who took her in to be her actual sister.
Yeah, the stepsister. Yeah,
she got shit on the whole movie, and it's like, what?
She also had nowhere to go, too.
No.
Like, she had to be so over the top all the time. Again, because they thought they were making an 80s movie, because this movie's set in 1989. And it was all surface, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I was in some time capsule. The plot of the movie has nothing to do with the time period. It literally is just such an obvious rip from a director who only did JoJo music videos beforehand, with Diablo Cody, who hasn't written something I've enjoyed in quite a long time. And Catherine Newton is also kind of a hit or miss. And I think she mostly got cast, because if you put her in a certain makeup and hairstyle, she's got a little Winona Ryder in her face.
Yeah.
So this sucks. And like, you were right though about like some of the dialogue harking back a little bit, like especially with that boss that just calls her flat chested and like really lays into her right in front of that kid. I was like, good God, man, pull the reins back. Everybody is over the top in here. And I've preached this a lot. Again, I always talk about, I think, Michael Field from Forgotten Cinema, which is coming back soon for anybody who's into our network of people. You can't have everybody try to be over the top and funny. You need straight shooters. And good God, this movie is just trying to be, it's so weird that it's lifeless and then everybody also overacted.
Yes.
I can't conflate that, but I am, because that's how it felt. I don't get it. Also, as a person who grew up in the time period too, E.T. got more instructions when he was left alone in a closet than this fucking guy. What happened? What happened? You literally would just go to school without having a scene where you talk to him.
Nope.
You would just leave. You just go and live your life, and you have a fucking animated corpse in your closet wearing clothes of everybody in the place that seems to be a shared closet experience. What? And then he fucking murders your mom, and like, what? Stepmom, whatever. But you know what I mean? And the father, I kind of he sort of felt like he was trying, like he was kind of playing the role a little bit. But again, he's so understated because he kind of had to be. Yeah. But he's also kind of creepy. He had that line that I was like, that's kind of okay. Outside of that, everybody was fucking awful.
Yeah, bad. Again, just bad. I feel like every joke they try, like you said, was like, "Oh, I forgot your mother got murdered in front of you." I'm like, okay, I guess you're trying to write that as funny and satirical or whatever, but it just was not. It just didn't. Andrew, I don't know what's wrong with us. That's back to back shitty.
We're in Dumpuary, Shane, and it hasn't. But to be fair, you know what it's been. Even in Dumpuary, we've had these reprieves, right? A lot of times, Valentine's Day is like a key spot lately. Like that's at least been a money driver. Sometimes they put like a horror movie there to kind of get this scary horror movie date night thing on Valentine's Day or whatever. We didn't really get that unless you count this shit, which I don't, because nobody saw it, by the way. It made $8 million.
Yep.
So we're shouting. I'm more apoplectic over a movie that nobody's gonna fucking talk about, right? Although I said the same thing about Bottoms, and then it keeps coming up. It came up like how many times throughout the end of last year. So including, I love that I took that screenshot, Amazon Prime saying me, huge recommendation for you. You should watch Bottoms. And I was like, you should go fuck yourself. I'm canceling this. So I don't know what to do with that.
But it's like you said, this is one of those movies where I didn't see a trailer, never saw a trailer. I didn't even know this movie existed till you said, I'm going to go see Lisa Frankenstein. I'm like, all right, I looked it up. It's playing in Regal. I thought this might be one of those hidden like gems they shove out there in February. Like, I think, I might really enjoy this movie. Well, I was wrong.
I had the same thought about Bottoms because that came out in like a dead September where nothing was around. I was like, yeah, Bottoms is finally coming around, and we lost our minds.
Yeah, and you lost your mind again. Yeah, so,
Yeah, I know. Again, not as crazy, but there's enough crazy. And especially like, did you notice, this is very, very, this is getting into the weeds, so I'll stop after this. But, well, two things. One, there's a scene where she's in the bathroom that the shower is on, but it's not a real shower. If you look close, it's not ceramic tile. It's like fucking paper mache. Like, if you look at it, it looks drawn. And I was like, this is the laziest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. And then, so I would recommend, if it comes on like, one of the streaming services, just pop that scene in and tell me whether I'm off. And I'm wondering if, they fix it, whatever. I don't know. But it looked bad. And then, can we talk about the end for a second?
Sure.
So instead of leaving town after they burn the fucking house down, or at least the garage, whatever that leads into their property, and they murdered yet another person and all this stuff, right? So instead of leaving town with him, she decides to kill herself
for no reason.
No reason.
Nope. Yeah, I'm glad because I kind of, I forgot to even mention the ending of this movie when I was talking about how horrible it is. It made no sense. I'm like, why are you killing? Like, why? Like, I didn't understand. It made no sense. Like you said, everything in this movie made no sense. I'm glad you pointed it out. That made no sense. Like, zero sense why she did what she did.
And also, her mom, her real mom, gets killed. So we're all supposed to be like, okay, so she's jaded. That doesn't make you a fucking quick to murderer.
Right.
Or fine with murder. Like, it just opened a door and you're like, this is fine.
Yeah.
I know she's a little morbid, but it's not like, again, this is not like Winona Ryder and Beetlejuice even levels of morbidity. And even then, if she killed somebody, I would still be like, whoa, she killed somebody. Not like, oh, let's keep doing this for multiple times in the movie.
Yeah. I'm with you.
No fucking sense.
Nope.
So this is another one that I want to bury. I want to give it at least, like, again, at most 2. Because here's what happened, Shane. I watched Lisa Frankenstein, got all mad. Then I watched Madam Web, and I go, do I really know what a bad movie is? Like, where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? Because is it like that I need to walk out? Like, because we keep covering these, so I want to give respect to be like, I'm going to watch this all the way through. So when is it going to be the line? That's what I want to know. And am I too nice? Because am I giving?
We're too nice. We're too nice.
Yeah, I'm about to probably give a 2 or another one to like this, and it should just be like, no, this is a 0. Go fuck yourself. Don't watch this movie.
Yeah, I'm giving it another 1.
You are.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Let's just all give 1s the rest of the year. Just fuck everything.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch Dune 2 next week. Completely. I'm giving it a half. Let's just keep going.
That's my third ever 1 on this show. 2 this year, which is a record. And it joins Bottoms as my only 1 I've ever given on this show. So apropos, wouldn't you say? Bottoms. I
love it.
Madam Web and Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Let's
you've inspired me now. Let's do it. Let's double up. We're going to just shove it in the one's face so everybody who sees it on our letterbox or whatever or hears it here, it's done.
Yeah.
You're dead to me. All these movies are fucking dead to me. Let's just stop being kind. I don't get. I'm like, I always am like, nobody sets out to make a bad movie. All this blah blah
Right.
blah. I've never really given. I think even the worst of the worst, like Netflix movies that I cover all the time, I think the worst I've ever given is like a 1.5 because nothing's truly made me mad. These are like making me mad. I should really stomp
Go
it
for
down.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the man. I appreciate you for that. All right, Shane. Here's my fear: is that after all this craziness, I'm gonna bring up True Detective Night Country, and I think I'm gonna be a lot kinder than just being like fuck this place. But I was kind of disappointed in how this all wrapped up. Even though on its face, I have a lot of things that I like about it, but I simultaneously wouldn't be like, I wholeheartedly recommend it or, woo, True Detective is back. How did you feel about it?
I think I may have liked this a little more than you did.
Okay.
I think as we're progressing through this 4th season, I said it felt like an X-Files episode to me.
Absolutely. Especially that cave was cool as hell, by the way.
Yeah.
Just
and
from
it really, and it did. It was very much X-Files-ish. They kind of, it's kind of hard because they set up all the supernatural stuff, and then you get like I think you mentioned, is it just going to be a movie about pollution? And it ultimately, I mean, it kind of landed, but is it going to be more straightforward in their ending and delivery of this show? So I thought they got the balance of that a little out of whack towards the end.
I think so too.
It
felt simultaneously rushed to me while also feeling that it's probably too long.
Yeah, exactly right. I thought they underutilized I think my biggest pet peeve with this show is they underutilized John Hawkes' character as Hank Pryor.
Yeah. If this is a movie, he's probably like way more front and center and really kind of puts things in. He's the guy you kind of stray everything to. I hated his like, now in retrospect, like the whole Russian bride thing or whatever, like those all seem stupid. This guy had real stuff going on. Why are we going this far afield?
I actually wrote that down because one, he's a great character actor, right? So you have talent there.
Yeah.
And you don't develop his character really at all, except to make him look gullible and stupid for a Russian mail order bride. We knew that was never going to come, right? Even his son knew it.
Yep.
So, but you had the whole father-son dynamic and him saving from the ice that they didn't really build on, which I felt. And then you get what happens, I think it was episode 5, and it's like, whoa. And that was jarring, but you're like, okay, that's the end. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just thought they underutilized his story and what he could have added, especially like his him and Jodie Foster's character going back and forth. I thought they would get into a little bit more because he was the one trying to like stop her from further investigating what was going on. So I thought that kind of fell flat, but I love Jodie Foster's performance in this. I actually like the state trooper
Navarro.
Navarro
in
this. And did they stick the landing on this? I like the way they explained it, but again, it left all that supernatural.
Did they explain it? We can get into that too. The ending is very ambiguous.
I thought they did. All right. Okay. And I thought the same way at first. I'm like, isn't she? Okay. But I'm talking about the story that was told to him by the Native Americans at the house at the end, right?
Yeah,
what happened to
Yeah. Okay. I love how they just slowly all walk into
the right?
room.
Like they're all gonna like
what the fuck?
Yeah. Like there's gonna be a throwdown here or something.
Yeah.
Right?
They should have like chains that they're like pulling while they're doing
right. Yeah. Switchblades come out of their pockets.
Yeah. They're all like snapping fingers in the background. Yeah.
But the ambiguous part, they left the supernatural very open and ambiguous, I guess, for you to kind of like play with at the end. So that became lesser of the story. They got kind of rid of that a little bit towards the end. Like you said, it felt very rushed and tied in. Yeah. Jodie Foster's thing with their son, which I don't think they dove into that as well. Like her backstory, like what makes her such a hardened asshole that no one likes to work with. They like gave you superficial stuff with that, right? But they didn't really go into it. Her relationship with Navarro, like there's a lot they left on the table. But as far as ambiance, setting, mood, acting, I was into it, man. For all the faults that it had, I really enjoyed it. It was better to me than the second season. I enjoyed it more than the third season of True Detective.
Right.
So they kind of tied into a line from Matthew McConaughey's detective in the first season with the whole flat
Yeah.
circle thing, right? I'm like,
Well,
yeah, okay, you
and
had to
another
shoot.
character was
Yeah,
like looking like he was part of the lineage of it because they had the
yeah.
same last name and all this other stuff. So they did little
Sh-
drips and drabs. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to shoehorn that in there. Okay, whatever. But I enjoyed it, man. I had a good time with this series. I'm glad it was only 6 episodes. I will say that. It probably could have been four or five,
It really
but
spun its wheels a little bit in the middle there.
it
And that's
did.
why I was hoping that it would be worth it because we got through all of what they wanted to do to set up for the end. And I think the end, I don't know, it felt a little rushed. It like there were moments of goodness, like the first maybe discoveries of the cave lab and that whole thing, and Jodie Foster getting stuck in that freezer and having to get out and the chase of it all.
Yeah, yep, yep.
But that's kind of where it ended because then it went back and forth between this is the real story. No, here's the mystical stuff. Here's,
Yeah,
back and forth. And it kind of felt like a microcosm of how the season was, where like sometimes I'd be like, ooh, this seems really intriguing. And then it would go in another direction. To speak to what you were saying about Hawk's character, and did you feel like he, in the end, he was kind of redundant with that other guy that Jodie Foster was sleeping with that was the higher up than
yes.
her? Because if he's really just there to eventually be a stopgap between that and the mine, isn't Hawks already the dirty guy
Yeah,
to do that?
yeah,
So why do we need this? And I guess they only did that because they wanted to show her ceiling, that like she didn't get the higher up jobs that she probably maybe wanted, or that she got turfed to Ennis and somebody to explain all that. But I'm like, you probably could have sandwiched these guys in and
yeah.
lost a little bit of the extra stuff. And again, imply like they had a prior romance or something or whatever, like something,
Right.
just keep it all together because as it goes along, everybody seems to fuck Jodie Foster. It feels
Yeah,
like at
she's
some
like,
point she's a homewrecker everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
So that was interesting. Yeah, I thought this movie, or excuse me, this show had so much where they were like concentrating on all this backstory and this depth to try to show like all these tentacles to get to where we are. But you knew it was kind of, well, I did. I had a sense that it was going to do the True Detective thing and it was going to be something a little more grounded and a little more
Hmm.
plausible and not really stretch into the mystical more. And it kind of runs flat when you do that. And it all really just kind of tied a lot of things in a bow, and it made a lot of things that happened previously feel like nothing.
Yeah,
It really, like, there was a lot of characters who I liked in some regards that basically they had no runway left in their character, and it's not like they died; they just like got shoved to the side because they didn't eventually land a purpose. Especially like the Hawks' son,
prior.
the
Yeah.
cop in there, Pryor in there, Peter Pryor, right? That's his
Yep.
character's name, I think.
Yep. Yep.
I thought he was so intricate to it. And then as soon as his big scene happens, he's done.
Yeah, I thought that too. I'm
Nothing
like,
matters. He's just done. He's just gone. And somehow Rose, who's out in the ice, becomes one of the biggest characters in the whole thing, where she's just covering up everyone's mess.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I found it very scatterbrained a little bit towards the
it,
end, and I didn't latch on to any one solid story that I was just like, oh, good, I'm glad at least that part wrapped up.
right. Because, like you said, everything was just touched on superficially, even though they
Yes.
were moving kind of slow. I felt like originally, like, guys, you got 8 episodes, so take your time building this story. Then they're like, oh shit, we got 6.
Yeah.
Oh, this is whoop.
Yeah.
Like you said, put a bow on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
Yeah.
thought they were moving really slow to set everything up, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we ran out of time. Here we go. It
Yeah.
almost felt like I was watching Game of Thrones up until season 6. Like, oh, it used to take them 3 months to get to Westeros. Now it takes them 24 hours to get there. Okay, this
Yeah.
is speed things along.
Yeah, I haven't watched the finale yet of Monsieur Spade, which we can maybe talk about next week. But like, I'm curious about how that one wraps up because these are two shows that I was like, they both on paper seem very dense and have a lot of stuff going on. But there's something I'm curious how Mr. Spade ends, because that I have more faith in the writing, and
Right.
they're really good at like the dialogue and how they set these things up, that I'm hoping that they kind of really show where it's going to go. And obviously Clive Owen's character, I think, is stronger than anyone else in True Detective Night Country. So my hopes are there. But this one, I think that kind of shows what I think about this show, where I'm like, I don't think anyone was so particularly strong, and the dialogue and how they mixed it up. I think, to your point earlier, I think this show was surface pretty. It was like great cinematography, some of the best set design, like I said, with the cave and, the creepiness of, what was that outpost thing that they found the scientist in?
To
Uh
Sala or something, right?
well, not the lab, but like the like a
Oh
oil
yeah,
refinery or whatever the
yeah,
hell it
yeah,
was,
yep.
some outpost of that. So that was pretty cool, and shake it with the Christmas tree in there and all the just weird vibes. You could tell that, I think her name's Issa Lopez. I don't have
Yeah, I was
her name.
about to mention her, but go ahead.
She comes from a horror background, and I think when she really can focus and dial it up, weirdly enough, I wonder how this series kind of got roped around. I think it was pitched not as a True Detective series, and then they kind of, I think, maybe elongated it and made it into, with all those drips and drabs we talked about earlier,
Yeah,
into a True Detective-y type of series. I wonder what this would have looked like if it was a 2 hour and 15-minute horror movie,
yeah.
like ish,
I'm with you
thriller.
there. I'm with you there because I'm not familiar with Issa Lopez's work. I just looked her up and she did a lot of like just Spanish films, I guess, right?
Yeah, right.
But her structure and the bones of her, what she has going on, I like the way she sets everything up. Like you said, she keeps me on
Yeah,
my toes. Everything's pretty to look at, gives you that just airy feeling. So I really like her potential here, and I liked what she presented. It's just story wise, structurally, is where she's kind of missing out as maybe a writer trying to tie all this stuff together.
yeah,
And I kidded with the X Files stuff, but I felt like if they're like, you're going to write an X Files show or movie, have at it. I think if
right.
she was going to go full force into that,
Yeah,
she would have stuck this a little better. You know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, it's hard to tell, again, not fully knowing her work all the way through, but just even watching this, I think she had a lot in her mind with this,
Yeah.
and I think she went heavy into some of the spiritual stuff, some of, mixing in climate worries and all these other things that are kind of topical. And again, it's a very surface friendly show, but the more you think on it and the more you kind of sit with it after it ends, I don't think it sits as well.
No.
And it can be kind of picked apart.
Right, yeah, yeah. With Navarro's, and we didn't even mention like Navarro's sister. It's like, was she mentally ill? Why are they getting called out to walk into the water? Why is the spirits calling her? Like, there was just a lot, like, just wasn't explained. Like,
Yeah,
is
because
it
the
a?
mother thing really hangs over it, let alone the sister. The
Yeah,
sister at least was like modern set. And then once you really show that this isn't the ghost of a person who was killed in that mine, that like that's the jig is up. It's like,
yeah.
so then what is the mystical portion? Who's still
Ex-
calling? What's the and again, it all goes through Navarro. By the way, great drinking game if you want to get absolutely hammered. Watch the finale of True Detective Night Country, and every time Jodie Foster says Navarro, take a drink, you'll be fucking loaded. Oh my God. It's like she's never heard her name before. She said Navarro like 27 times. But yeah, so overall, I don't think this is going to end up on like some kind of best
no,
TV of the year kind of thing.
nope.
I'm hoping for better once I see Monsieur Spade's ending. I still have hopes for that to maybe kind of enter through that. But yeah, I'm still looking for that like
Yeah,
big time show that when we get to like the halfway point, we're gonna look back and go, man, yeah, we had it so good early on.
yep. Not yet, buddy. Still waiting.
I know.
Potential was there with this one. Potential was there, but
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of potential, I think the one that I have earmarked that I'm like, if this is not up to snuff, then I might be really saddened. Is that double agent Robert Downey Jr. show they're doing next, called The Sympathizer on
yes.
HBO? They kept doing the preview for that. Oh God, I'm all in, all the
Yep.
way in. especially Robert Downey Jr. in like multiple outfits and looks and everything, doing the secret agent thing. Oh yeah, God, it's so much fun. So I'm all in on that one. Hopefully, we find our the bear, our whatever, our even our Reacher, now that Reacher's gonna be going for a while. So like, yeah, we'll see. I need maybe another Slow Horses. I need something. I need that surprise, like Hijack. I need something, Shane. I need something to hit.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
So we'll see. More next week. Soft week. I'm going to see Dune 2 on Sunday, but I know that's an early fan engagement thing that's not happening everywhere, or at least maybe not where you are. So you're going to see it probably later on that week. So that's going to probably get punted. So next week's kind of a little up in the air. Maybe we'll kind of talk larger about the TV aspect. Maybe we'll come with some surprises. We have a few more movies that we kind of been kicking around through, but we'll see where it goes. But as always, great job by you, man. We will ask everybody to do the right thing and give us 5-star reviews wherever you listen. Tell a friend, do whatever, that gives us a little bit of a bump. That's all we ask. If you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow us on socials at Recent Act Pod, and be sure to come back next week for more Recent Activity.